This is a public meeting of the Berlin Conservation Commission occurring via Zoom webinar on May 19th, starting around about 7:05 p.m. It's a preliminary matter. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference.
Are you joining the meeting tonight?
Oh, Louise, can you mute? Oh, never mind. I'll get her. Okay, go ahead, John.
Please be aware that other participants may be able to see you. Take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. So confirming member access, John Aney. This is John Aney, Chair of the Berlin Conservation Commission. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Carolyn McDonald.
Here.
Liz DiChiara.
Here.
Louise Janda. All right. Robin Berry.
Here.
And Holly Kennedy DeGrudela.
Here.
And we'll get Louise.
There's Louise.
Okay. Louise, okay. Can you say, okay, that's good enough. Is Walter coming?
Okay. Yep. Okay, he was having trouble getting on, but he said he launched. It's already launched, so he should be joining us shortly.
Okay.
Anticipated speakers on the agenda, just somebody from Roads Construction either.
Yep, so Mark is here when we're ready.
Okay,
yep.
That'll be 7:30. With a quorum of the commission present, I call this meeting to order at 7:07 p.m. on Wednesday, May 19th, 2021. This open meeting of the Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current ongoing state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties of the right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Berlin website at www.townofberlin.com. Ground rules, please remember to request recognition for speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. To public comments, to the extent that our technical capability allows, public comments will be permitted during the public comment portion of this meeting as follows. Attendees' phones and other devices will be muted unless and until they raise their hand and are recognized by me to speak. I ask each member of the public who wishes to speak to identify their name, and I will afford each speaker time to ask a question, make a brief comment. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. That is that. All right. Oh, hi, Walter. Say hi. No, verbally.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, okay.
I've got a fat head here.
It's a lovely head, Walter. All right, next up is the minutes. I will screen share these sucker. Okay. So these are the Zoom meeting minutes from May 5th. Meeting opened about 7:03 p.m. I opened with my usual preamble, and a roll call. Attendance was taken with the following results. Everybody was here. Steve was here briefly. Town officials and other attendees: Peg Stone, the Berlin Select Board, Greg Tremeling, 32 Brigham Road for an RDA, and Jake Teach, 220 Surrey Hill Road, concerning a fence question. At the beginning of the meeting, Steve Beard announced his resignation to pursue business opportunities. John thanked him for his service to the town. Steve left the meeting after announcing his resignation. Reviewing and approving minutes of previous meeting, minutes for April 21st, 2021, reviewed and amended. Carol moved to approve the minutes with amendments. Liz seconded the motion, which passed by roll call vote. Everybody said aye. Treasurer's report as of March 31st, 2021. Annual budget, $857.35. Wetlands fund, $11,432.97. And open space fund, $186,783.19. Bills and forms, John reported he submitted request for reimbursement to Liz in the amount of $20.95 for certified mail. Mails and notices, Mary Porter's letter to the select board regarding Highland Ridge. Concom discussed Mary Porter's letter that raised concerns with the development, including truck traffic, non-compliance with ADA regulation and trail development. John forwarded the letter to the Concom review and comment. Walter requested that John contact Pat Gunner to obtain his opinion about some of the issues with Mary's letter. Wetlands, number one, Highland Ridge. Concom continues to work on finances and CR and trail issues. Pat Garner continues to monitor the site. Hunt River Road West. Dave Burke had text messaged me that progress is being made. There's no update on 32 Allen Road, no update on 64 Banner Road. Oops. 36 Dudley Road, wetlands violation. Walter reported he did a site visit. The owner had started cleaning up the site. Walter will work with the owner to resolve the issue. No EO was submitted. Boundless Adventures. You can have more than one. John reported on his site visit to inspect the erosion control measures. Since the silt fence and straw walls are in place, work on the project can begin. Appointment 7:30 p.m. RDA 32 Brigham Road. Greg Tremling presented his plan to construct a bridge over an intermittent stream to replace the original stone bridge that had collapsed. The prior bridge was part of an old cart road that crossed the intermittent stream. After discussion, the Concom determined the bridge would have no effect on the course of the intermittent stream, nor any effect on the nearby wetlands. No buildings will be put up in the wooded area on the other side. Walter moved to issue a negative DOA. Liz seconded the motion, was passed by unanimous roll call vote. 8 p.m. Jay Teach, 220 Sawyer Hill Road. Fence question. Jay attended the Concom meeting to ask about putting up a picket fence to delineate the boundary between 8 Linden Street and 12 South Street. There's some wetlands nearby, specifically a little pond. John stated this can be categorized as a minor project and therefore no permit action is required. New business membership change due to Steve's resignation. Concom member to replace Steve. A member will need to volunteer to serve on the Earthworks board. Number 2, parking area from Mount Pisgah Trail at 218 Linden. Walter reported on the poles placed in the parking area at 218 Linden to separate the parking area granted to the town from the fields. The poles restrict the ability for cars to turn around and infringes on the total easement area as described by the assessor's map. Walter will contact the highway department. 3, clean up roadside invasives. Walter also brought up issues of cleaning up invasives along the roadside. That garlic mustard is everywhere. Wetland bylaw. The Concom discussed how to present the bylaw at the town meeting. John defined the terms limited project and minor project using the MACC handbook as reference. Concom discussed a concern brought up by Dave Burke regarding the inconsistencies of the wording in the bylaw concerning resource areas. John consulted with town council about this issue, which was Carolyn made a motion that we would make a motion at town meeting to remove the phrase collectively resource areas protected by this bylaw. As stated on I'll fix the wording there. As stated on page 25 of 43 pages of the town warrant, Caroline modified her motion by adding pending approval by the moderators. Also seconded the motion was passed by roll call vote. Ooh. I think that's what it says. I'll tidy it up later. Land acquisition, no action. Land management, campsite near Mountain Laurel Trail. Jim reported that he, Jim McCook, Paul Anderson had cleaned up the site. Materials from the camp were returned over to the police department to be reclaimed, and a warning or a notification sign with warning of possible violation, prosecution for violation was put up in the site. Camp at 40 Ks area. John said he planned on cleaning up the campsite and firing range at 40 Ks on Saturday, along with Paul Anderson and Jim McCook. Community outreach. Louise, Liz, and Robin reported a successful Earth Day cleanup, which it was. Executive session, discussion of possible land conservation issue. John asked for a motion to enter the executive session, discuss the possible land conservation issue without returning to the regular meeting. Carolyn so moved with a second from Liz. The results of the roll call vote were taken. Everybody said aye. Liz then moved to adjourn the regular meeting. Carolyn seconded the motion, which passed by unanimous roll call vote. Meeting ended at 8:32. Minutes recorded by Louise, Yonda, and John Aney. Thoughts?
Looks good. Move to accept the minutes with minor corrections.
Is there a second?
Second,
Any further discussion?
good job.
Yes, thanks, Louise. So roll call vote. John, aye. Carolyn,
Aye.
Louise,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
Walter. Yeah. Well, we got a majority anyway. So that's saved and that's gone. All right. So let's switch up the agenda a little bit, talk immediately about membership issues. So yes, Lexi. Hi. So Lexi had attended our gazebo meeting and also the town meeting, and I guess it initially approached Carolyn about, seeing if there was stuff she could do to get involved. And then I talked with Lexi today on the phone to get a sense of her interests. She's going to be entering her senior year at Bard College. She's an environmental sciences major. She's interested in everything and doesn't know exactly what she wants to do yet, but it'll have something to do with environmental science. Lexi, you want to say something?
Sure. Everything you just said is correct. I would also add something I forgot to mention with you on the phone is I'm actually a joint major with sociology. So a lot of my interest is kind of human relations with the environment around them, how to better that, how to educate people, stuff like that is some of the stuff that I'm working on learning about in school. And yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in conserving land, especially Berlin land. I grew up in Berlin, so it's very near and dear to my heart, obviously. And I'm at the gazebo meeting, it was mentioned that you guys have a ton of work because you're a small volunteer run group. And I would just love to be able to take some of the work off your plate if I'm able to. So, yeah.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, right.
That might not be-
Lexi, do you like website and Facebook stuff?
Yes, I don't have Facebook, so I'm not very well versed in Facebook. I do,
Me neither.
I work for, on campus, I work for the social studies division, and I've done a little bit of website work for them, which mostly involved updating lists. So it wasn't super involved, but I have done some work in that area, not a whole lot. But
Well, I mean, I think it's important. So Lexi's going to be around town for a little bit, then she's going to be up north, work and, for a bit, doing some summer work up there, and she will, but still be available by internet. So, I think it's important. It's great that you're willing to help out with stuff. If you want to redesign the website, you can. If you don't want to, then we'll think of some other stuff. But, I think that, for instance, it'd be interesting for her to go on site visits. I think that I was thinking about reaching out to SVT because she has particularly interested in conservation land issues and see if she can help out there. It might be useful for her to, I think maybe Pat Garner, if he's doing some wetland determination, that, she could accompany him. So I'll reach out to him. I'd also like to make her as sort of an associate member. And my agenda with that is then I can tell MACC that we have an associate member and we can get her a $15 subscription to the MACC handbook,
Nice.
which all of you should be reading every night. Every night. It is I look at that thing multiple times a week. It is an amazing resource. So I encourage everybody to do the same. I mean, you'd all need your own. The thing is, they're a little fussy about the sharing the what you do
Password.
password. So they want you
Right,
each to
well-
have your own account, but it's only $15 for a year, so it's nothing.
Well, don't we get free? We get free access to the website through our membership through the Conservation Commission. We don't get, I think so. It's just the handbook that they charge for.
Right, but it's the handbook is the best resource. Yes, there's other stuff there, but it's really the handbook that is the best resource.
Right.
So entertain a motion to make Lexi an associate member for the summer.
Second.
So moved.
All right.
Okay,
So
who moved?
all
and
those in
seconded?
favor say, it doesn't matter.
So
All those in favor say-
Liz made the motion, I seconded.
Okay,
So,
Fighting over you.
So all those in favor say, Carolyn,
Aye.
John, I, Louise,
aye.
Liz,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
and Walter.
Aye.
Yeah. So if you guys have any ideas, so I will start laying some groundwork for you, Lexi. But anytime we have stuff to do, we can do it. I mean, it really kind of depends on your interest. Like if you really want to understand about permitting work, I can help you out.
We're
with that.
your group.
Yeah, which is useful because even if you don't become, for instance, as a career conservation agent, it's still important to know what permitting work is all about. And there's a lot of technical stuff, but it's also important to learn about, wetlands delineation, and the rules around protecting wetlands. And it's also important to learn about conservation stuff. And there's a number of ways that land can be conserved. There's multiple different avenues that way. So
Yeah, John.
Yeah.
I've got that excellent map of Berlin. It's our ecological map. I'd be willing to spend a little time with that spread out in the table and explain to her so she gets a better view of the ecological aspects of Berlin and where we are and what's going on. And yeah,
That's great.
I'm a map person. I have to look at a map all the time. So I'd be willing to show her that.
Okay.
And if I may also, so Lexi, one thing that I have wanted to do for a long time is to just set up educational programs, even if it's one a quarter or, the importance of meadow habitat. Meadow habitat is the single most specific habitat in the state that we're losing. It's the butterflies and the bees rely on it, and as well as birds. So meadow habitat, how to build a rain garden. What is a rain garden? Yeah, I mean, there's so many different kind of peripheral things that I would love to create programs about.
Yeah.
So and I'm not saying you have to do that, but if that's something you're interested in, I'd love to work with you on that.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in that.
Great. Okay.
And there's also courses, like I sat in with you, Carolyn, courses about wetlands, and I don't know what to call those.
Well, there's webinars that MECC puts on, and
Right.
We can let you. I can forward you an email if one of those is coming up. Actually, I forwarded everybody. Bolton is putting on something tomorrow night at 5.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
And I'll forward that to you, Lexi. I won't be able to attend it. I'll still be working. But yeah, no, just think stuff up. We'll keep you busy. Maybe you're too busy. Maybe you'll run away.
John,
Yeah, Walter.
there's a couple of acres of wetlands down in South Berlin that need all the invasive species pulled up by the root.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, let's move on.
Well, we have one other membership thing
Yes.
to attend.
Yeah,
to.
that's what I was moving on to.
Okay, just
Smarty pants.
making sure.
Yeah. So we have an opening because of Steve's resignation. I propose that we recommend to the select board that Holly take that opening. I think that would be wonderful. Holly, do you want to say something? You're muted.
There you
Yeah,
go.
no, I'd be honored to be a member. As you know, I'm very passionate about our trail system and preserving as much land as we can for the town. So I'd be very excited and honored to be a member.
John?
Yeah, Walter.
Yeah, not to be a skunk at the party, but just to be democratic about it. There are a couple of other people that are kind of interested too that ought to be just talked to. That's all. I mean, I have no problem with Holly, but when people ask, they should have an opportunity to present themselves. That's all.
Who is it? Do you want to reach out to them, Walter?
See you later. I would have them come in, and I told them to contact you themselves.
Okay. So, okay, that's fine. And we may want to actually put something, isn't there a Facebook page or something?
Yeah.
There's a Berlin Facebook page, yeah.
For Berlin Conservation Facebook page?
Well, yes, but we don't have, the Berlin Conservation Commission has a Facebook page and we could share it on Berlin Neighbors Connect.
because we should probably put it in there too, just so we're not. So as part of the campaign for that thing we were doing, that former thing
That we're not talking about.
that we're not talking about, people were saying, oh, you should have, a developer on the, but because that former thing didn't work out, I think all that interest is going to dry up. So I think when push comes to shove, I think that Holly's probably, is going to be the person we go with, but
Yeah.
it is up to the select board. It's, we can make a recommendation, but it's the select board that needs to choose that.
Correct.
So we should put something up on Facebook, and if those people reach out to me, which they have not yet, whoever it is, then we can talk to them. But anyway, that's my I think our general recommendation would be to suggest to the select board. Okay.
Yep.
For Holly. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. And I'll put a post on our Facebook page.
Thank you. If you could do that, that'd be great.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna try to get through mail wicked quick.
'Cause we can have lots of associate members, right?
We can have
Many
20.
as
20?
we can have as many as we want. I do not believe there is a limit.
Let's queue them up.
Well, they'd have to prove themselves by pulling up an acre's worth of invasive species.
Right.
By hand.
That's
I-
the hazing phase.
Yeah.
It's a mail and notices thing because we're almost at 7:30. The CSX has their yearly operational plan is available for viewing. If anybody wants to do that, I'll scan this page and email it to you. More interestingly, the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife they have a draft priority habitat map for public comment beginning on May 3rd.
Nice.
So did I send this along to people? A photocopy of this? Or whatever you call it nowadays.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
All right, I'll do that.
I saw that the map was available. I'm trying to remember. I think I was looking for biomap too, but I didn't actually find a link to the updated map.
All right. So when we're done, I will scan this and email it to everybody. Okay. Because that might be fun to look at.
Yeah.
And the final thing notice is that National Grid is finally going to be doing those poles on Bridge Street. This is a utility exemption. They still have to let us know about, what they're doing for protecting the wetlands. It says appropriate best management practices will be implemented as necessary to ensure that no long-term adverse effects occur as a result of the necessary work, electric distribution machines, blah, 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 blah. I will also send this letter around. If somebody wants to give this guy a call so that we can just take a look at this stuff, that'd be cool. All right.
Yeah, because that goes right over the Assabet, right?
Right. Yeah, it's right there. So when they put those spikes in, like at least 6 months ago, I think probably 9 months ago. It was a long time ago. They put the little wood stakes in where they're going to put the things, and I checked them out, and they clearly needed to do some erosion control around some of those things. Yeah. It's a narrow hole and they put up a pole, but it's still, they need to do erosion control.
Yeah.
That's when I realized how much trash was there. And I recruited my poor neighbor's kids to help me clean. We had like 12 bags. It was bad. It was really bad.
Wow.
It's a favorite dumping place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Louise has her hand up.
Yeah. Louise.
Yeah, speaking of National Grid, is there any word on when they're going to complete connecting the solar farm to the grid?
No.
Yeah, because they did that. They were working up there about 2 or 3 months ago.
Yep. There's something came across the email feed about Richard Hanks popping up there to do an inspection, but I don't really have any update.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that, we don't have to sign off on that. That's Mr. Hank. Richard has to sign off on that.
Mhm.
We don't have to sign off that. We did a partial OOC, so they still have to come back and get a full OOC. But we don't need to hound them on that because that would have a deed effect on them. So they'll come to us.
Okay.
All right. 7:30. You want to promote Mark Rhodes?
Yep.
Hello.
Hi.
Mark,
John, what was that noise you made?
Would you like me to speak on behalf of my application?
Yeah, I would.
All right. I'm working for a customer on Carr Road, Mary Leonard. We did an A&R plan to break off a lot for her daughter. And we got the septic approved a couple weeks ago. And there's a catch basin partially on the existing property and partially in the town taking, which drains across the street and creates a channel. And you get a little further down, the lower you get elevation wise, there's soils, I guess, for wetland. It passes as a wetland. So we respected that, we flagged it, and then we made sure that the septic was out of that area. So the only work that's in the buffer is the breakout material, and between the wetland, which is across the street, we have a town road, and then we have approximately a 3-foot mortared stone wall, which there's one opening for an old existing driveway because it was probably intended to be a lot a long time ago, which we would close in. So there is basically no impact, no potential impact on that catch basin or on the wetland across the street.
Okay, let me do some screen sharing to orient people. So first, oh, this is so annoying. This is the assessor's map. This is the lot, these are the lot in question. So, and Mark, please, if I say something incorrect, please let me know. So this is
Sure.
Carr Road, 19 Carr Road. This is the existing house. This is a division that is being made between the two properties. You can see that there's wetlands here and wetlands here on the assessor's map. Now let me show you the Oliver. Give me a sec here. I hear an echo too. So this is Oliver, the GIS online mapping tool. Again, so this does not have the subdivision, but you have a better sense of the topography here, with a steep slope coming down towards these wetlands here, and then wetlands across the street. But again, the line is here. And then let me share I just have to rotate it. There we go. So now I'll screen share this one. Okay, so this is Carr Road. The existing house is up here. This is the proposed house. This is the septic area. And the wetlands are down here. So Mark, could you run it, now that we have a site plan up, could you please?
Sure. The wetlands in the rear, you have to go uphill and then down a cliff to get to those. So those are basically not in danger by any point, and they're not within our working area. And the wetland that we're claiming is across the street isn't on your maps. And I'm not sure if it actually has the vegetation to support it, but we did do soils there. And because of the fact that the catch basin drains through that area, we figured we'd be clear in our presentation and make sure that we, work by the rules.
Thank you, Mark. So this part here, you have to go uphill before you go downhill?
Yes.
So like if you're mixing things up here, the flow of water cannot go down this?
No, it goes down towards the road.
Okay. So let me just.
John, we took a site walk out there yesterday.
Oh, good. I was going to just about ask about that. Let me just.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and tell me?
So Liz and Louise and I went out there, and I mean, like Mark said, it's definitely wet in the back there, but it's very steep. And all the work does appear to be towards the front. Honestly, so I actually, if you want to not screen share, I can show you some pictures that that I took. So this is standing, what I figure is about where the house would be, maybe a little off center, but so this is that opening that Mark was talking about. So the property owner actually was there, and he said this will probably be closed up and the new driveway is going to go down here. But right here is that low area that Mark was talking about. And then the wetlands are across the street. So between this stone wall and the street, there certainly doesn't seem to be any danger of the wetlands here being affected. I wouldn't mind. Oh, there were some lady slippers blooming there. So then this is turned around back towards that. You can see the wetlands down here. And then there's Liz walking down, and that's at the bottom looking up. So it's very steep. Mark, how much disturbance is there going to be at the crest of this hill?
He's muted. Mark, if you can hear us, you're muted. Does somebody want to unmute him?
I can ask. Oh,
There you go. Okay, that picture there is from the top of the hill down to the wetlands. There's going to be no work in that area. That picture actually shows some test holes that I did on the side of the slope.
Yep.
And it was beautiful, beautiful gravel. But to build on that side is it's just too much money, and it would the impact on the wetlands would be actually more significant to put a septic right there than to put it in the front yard.
Sure, totally agree. Yeah, I guess I was just wondering, are you gonna do any silt fencing at the top of the hill?
We can. It's not a
Yeah,
big
I mean,
deal.
that would, right, just because it is kind of flat up here, and if you have a lot of trees torn up and a lot of disturbance in a heavy storm, it could wash downhill.
Sure. You could make that a condition of your decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the only thing I would look for. Otherwise, I think it was great.
The other thing I would recommend is putting hay bales in that part of the wall until the wall is replaced.
In the driveway opening.
Yeah, that way nothing gets into the catch basin and washes across the street.
Totally agree.
All right, so based on your assessment there, Carolyn, you recommend silt fence and wattles along that back there before the steep part.
Yep.
Either wattles or hay bales. Hay bales are problematic because of all the seeds and stuff, but
I have one question.
Yep.
I'm gonna be grinding the stumps on site. What about a windrow of heavy stump grindings?
well, yeah, but you have to pull up the stumps first. So it's
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, didn't think of that. Yeah,
yes. So why don't we just put in the straw wattles and silt fence?
no problem.
Yeah. All right. And so anybody else got some thoughts?
Right. So generally I don't like hay bales for what, like you were gonna say, John, because of the invasives. But because of the slope and the size of that opening, it would either need, I don't know that just wattles would be sufficient in a heavy storm. In a
So
heavy
hay bales
rain.
might be a better.
Hay bales in this case might be better, yeah.
Should we make them get some of that saltwater hay?
The clean hay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, Mark, if we do hay bales, what are you gonna do with them when you're done?
We could, for the front hay bales, we could get the feed hay, something that's good, something that horses will eat, something that doesn't have the invasive species.
Sounds good.
Okay, yeah. Just not construction hay.
Correct.
Oh,
Doesn't
okay.
already have the what was it, the west stripe or whatever it is in it, that purple flower.
The loose strife, it's really
Yeah,
the,
loose
it's,
stripe,
yeah, the loose strife and the bittersweet and the multiflora rose tend to
Yeah.
be the problematic ones.
And the Japanese knotwood,
Oh, yeah, yep.
which is edible, by the way.
yeah.
So is it garlic mustard?
Yeah. So we
Yep.
should have a program to eat these things.
Yes.
All right. Any other comments?
No, it's a nice lot.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty.
All right. So entertain a motion to issue a negative DOA, which will be signed after the erosion control barriers are in place.
So moved.
Is
Second.
there a sec? Okay. So we'll do a roll call vote. Carolyn,
Aye.
John, I, Louise,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
and Walter,
Walter, you're muted.
or asleep. Well, it's a majority. So, okay. So Mark, thank you very much. Get those straw wattles and erosion fence in place.
Aye.
What did he say? Oh, aye. Okay, that was
Yeah.
Walter. I thought that was Mark.
Oh.
So get those in place. We'll pop somebody over there to take a look at them, and then we'll get you your RDA.
Can you get
DOA.
me? Great, thank you very much. Thank you for the board for your time. Could you get me an email basically describing that so I can give it to the customer to
Yeah.
justify the installation of that product?
Yes, I will do that tonight.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna send it to Kathy's been the one that was communicating with us. so
Yeah, I'm not that literate, so that's my wife.
I'm not rising to that. All right, I'll send it to Kathy. Mark, thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. Have a good night.
Mark.
Yeah, you too.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
Mark.
Bye.
All right. Time to pay some bills. Robin, I got those forms today, but just today, so I didn't even bother sending them to you yet.
All right, no worries.
So we got some bills. Do you guys want me to screen share or just describe?
You can just describe.
Oh, okay. So first up is a bill from KP Law for $54. This was when they reviewed the Highland Road, homes at Highland Ridge conservation restriction. Back
They
in
must have
November.
missed a digit somewhere. They never just charge us $54.
That's all it was. There's 2 pages because, you know, one is like, hey, you guys have to pay this. You haven't paid this bill yet, which is kind of funny because we never saw one before. But they've done that. So anyway, it's $54 for reviewing the CR. I entertain a motion to pay the authorized payment to KP Law for this.
Oh,
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion?
Was
All
that
those in-
because it was the last day of the month and we're gonna get another one?
Right, like I swear they
Well-
missed a digit.
No, well, I mean, we're going to get one for that former thing, but it hasn't arrived. It probably won't arrive till July, and then we'll have to take it out. Anyway, okay. So roll call: Carolyn,
Aye.
John, I, Louise,
I,
Liz,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
Walter.
I,
All right. Next up, this bill. I opened your mail, Liz, because this was addressed to you, care
Huh.
of conservation. This is from Gatehouse, New England. I believe this is the public hearing notice.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's probably under Liz's name because she probably set up the account, or the last time we had to do something in the paper that you did. But this one was me posting the public hearing.
Right, but you didn't pay for it, correct?
Correct,
All right.
correct.
So-
They said
right.
they would bill us.
Yes, and they did.
Yeah.
So it's $49.26. So entertain a motion to pay Gatehouse, New England, which represents Telegram Gazette, $49.26.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, no further comments. Carolyn,
Aye.
John, I, Louise,
I,
Liz,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
Walter.
I,
So those two are small, and they only need my signature. So they're already signed. The other two will need more signature. The 2 next ones will need more signatures because I'm the one being reimbursed. So these are for those signs, which Dan dropped off today. Unfortunately, I wasn't home. I was out running. But you know, these are the trail signs, and they'll last a
Ooh.
long time.
Very nice.
Yeah.
mhm.
until they're vandalized.
Well, they're
Yeah.
harder to vandalize. So, but
Don't
yes,
challenge them.
there are vandals, although I would, there are vandals.
Didn't we already make a motion to pay for those?
Yeah,
When we
but
authorized.
now we
oh,
need
okay.
to make a motion to reimburse myself.
I see.
I want my money.
There should be one more bill too, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes, I'm getting there. But anyway, so these are 2 bills. One was the down payment, and then one was the balance due.
I see.
So the down payment was $222.07, and the balance due is $222.06 for these 4 signs.
You- Oh, never mind. I'll get it off the video.
Oh, thanks, Lisa. The first one was, the down payment was $222.07, and the balance due was $222.06.
222.
222, because they don't make half pennies anymore.
Ugh,
I think I have a bucket somewhere with some half pennies. So entertain a motion to pay these bills. Reimburse me for my payments.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Oh,
Second.
Second.
All
What
right,
did you
so
say, Walter? No?
Would somebody mute him, please? The
I already
So,
tried.
roll call vote. Carolyn,
Aye.
John, I'll abstain, I guess. Louise,
I,
Liz,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
Walter,
I,
Oh, thanks, Walter. All right, so these will need to be signed when we sign the DOA. Now, this is all that I got so far about the inserts, and there was nothing else in the mailbox. It was
Right.
just
They,
this thing.
is there a number on there
No.
for a
No,
bill?
there isn't. No.
Oh,
It's a tear slip, but it's a delivery slip, job 27616. So, I mean, that was all that was in there.
okay. I can email them and say that we didn't actually get a bill, and if they want some money, they should send us a real bill. For all we know, they sent it to June, but she would have given it to us,
Oh yeah,
right? Yeah.
she's really good
Yeah.
about keeping track of things.
Yep.
Yeah, so the background is this was for the insert for the annual town meeting for that former thing. Margaret determined that because it was just informational and that was it, that we can get reimbursed for it. So we don't have to pay it for personal, we can, the town can pay for it through our general fund. That was her determination. But it's probably only like 40 bucks anyway, right?
My guess is probably, maybe it's that little. There were 450 copies. So however much.
I
Right.
don't know, maybe 90 bucks. I don't think it'll add up to that much.
Right. But after your giant expenditure, what do we have left in the budget?
Oh, we still have like 300, 400 bucks, which will pay for, I'll just roll that over for legal expenses.
What?
What?
We're going to get billed by KP Law probably in August for
Yeah.
work done in this fiscal year for, I
Oh,
talked to
I see
Amy
what you're
twice
saying.
about, and then there was a lawyer at the all-town meeting. We may have to pay a portion of that. Remember what happened last year? There's this rollover thing you can do. I forget
Yeah.
even the phrase. So whatever is left, I'm going to roll it over. And then, what is the phrase? Do we have any accountants here?
I don't know that we can, so I don't know that we can actually roll it over, but we can,
No, we can't roll it over. There's
no,
a
but
specific word
it's
where you put it.
encumbrances.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There
Yeah, I always thought that what was like you had to, if it was the service was in this fiscal year, I thought you had to post it in this fiscal year.
Right, and that's what the encumbrance is for.
Right. So
What-
at the end of the fiscal year, if there's money that we know that we've spent in this fiscal year, but we haven't actually gotten a bill yet, we're going to get a piece of paper that says, fill out, what's your expected encumbrances.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say we only have maybe 150, 200 bucks left after what we've just talked about tonight.
After John's, yeah, that I knew it was close, but that should be enough to pay the printer.
Yeah,
And then that,
And at least some of the legal bill. So
right.
might as well use it all up. So
Yeah.
All right. All right. Next up is wetland stuff. And I'll just, because I love doing this. So is Patrick's most recent report for homes at Highland Ridge. Erosion controls look good, functional, construction work continues, lower basin retains approximately 85% of unused capacity. He's recommending that they should clean the fines in silt, which they will probably do because they've been quite responsive to Patrick's requests. So there's that. So next up on wetlands is 100 River Road West. I have not received any more information from Dave Burke. Has anybody swung by there?
Yeah, I have. Nothing's being done there.
Okay. At least it's in process. So, but thank you for keeping an eye on it, Walter. Walter, do you have an update on 32 Allen Road?
Yeah, zero,
Not,
nothing.
I mean,
I don't, even though there's, promises, I don't see it. I haven't been stern with him yet, but maybe I can bluff a little bit. That's about all we can do, as you know.
Yes, I know. All right. 64 Banner Road. Apparently the work's complete. I do believe I forwarded that one to everybody.
Yes, you did.
And, we're not, there, the work's complete, but then, there needs to wait a few months to make sure everything grows in. He gave us permission to take a look, see, but just wanted to, heads up first. I frankly have been too busy to do a look see. If anybody's interested in going and doing a site visit, let me know and I can let them know when you might pop by. If somebody wants to take Lexi along, that'd be nice.
Yep.
Or, I probably could find time to do it next weekend. Next Wednesday afternoon, if no one can do it. Maybe Lexi, maybe we could do that.
I would love to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we do that? So next Wednesday afternoon, I'll let them know that we'll do it next Wednesday afternoon. And I'll let you, I take it your schedule right now is pretty flexible, right?
It is, with the exception, actually, Wednesday, I am taking a family member to an appointment, but I should be back before 3 o'clock.
So what, you want to say 4 o'clock?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. All right. And if anybody wants to join us, let us know. And I will email him and let him know. All right. Finally, 36 Dudley Road. Do you have Walter, do you have an update on that?
36 Dudley Road.
Remember?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go. I think you remember what we're talking about, right?
No.
You did a nice visit down there and talked to that guy who's been having some health problems about all that.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I haven't been down there since. So I don't know.
I can take a swing by on my way home from work tomorrow.
That would be, yeah.
Just to see if there's any progress.
All right. Thank you, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
All right. That's it for wetlands. Next up is new business. So we already talked about members. There's 3 things there. Talked about membership. Oh, that's right. There's a gentleman that lives on Oak Street. Is he in the audience?
No, there's no one in the audience.
Huh. All right.
Yep. While you're pulling that up, just so everyone knows, the property on the corner of River Road and Marlborough Road, where the applicant was going to build a house for themselves, is for sale as a buildable lot. Just so you know.
Just like you predicted.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me a bit.
Nope.
No, you guys predicted that.
And his personal house is for sale as well.
Sorry, what address?
On the corner of River Road and Marlborough Road. The one.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for the update, I guess.
Yeah.
Just a review of that, just because it's so interesting. It's a typical thing that happens when town officials are all honest and innocent. They don't expect that type of thing. But that was a huge lot going over onto Dudley Road. And then the lot, there was a house on it, and the individual that owned it wanted a house lot beside it. So they cut off 2 acres of land and approved the lot that the house was on without ever having the Board of Health or Conservation Commission look at it. if the house was there, the lot would be unbuildable. So before he came back to have a leach field put in there, which was nothing, was literally an overflowing cesspool. I looked at it. The other house was up and built, so there was no way to expand and require that the leach field be put on that lot. So they lost that. So there's an extra lot that never would have happened if we were on our, on the ball and really looking at everything. And then this other lot that is now for sale, that the guy, this business of putting on your own house is, just goes to show they got 3 lots out of that. Now, our wetland specialist that we use quite a bit did mention that the district we're in with regard to DEP is the weakest that he knows of. In other words, a DEP agent, the one we dealt with, doesn't very often stand behind conservation commissions. And so we're kind of up against it. That's why we need a wetlands bylaw. Enough said.
Former thing. Yeah.
Just an update.
Thanks, Walter. Okay, let me screen share. So the Oak Street thing, local residents expressed concern about that junction between Oak Street and Central Street, Route 62. It's just, he finds it hazardous, was wondering about, how you go about altering the course of Route 62 into the conservation land, which is, right there. So my reply to him is that a lot of this stuff's probably above our pay grade, and when you get the master transportation involved. But I did email Kristen, and she had some interesting things to say. Here's the email. I don't see how the CR would allow the road to be shifted. The process to remove a CR is extremely difficult, and I don't actually know of one that has been removed. We have considered amending the CR for similar road safety concerns. However, per state and SVT's policies, there could be no net loss in conservation values. The other CR is moving their driveway. The other possibility is moving their driveway. She didn't really understand that part of it, but for this property CR, the only way to mitigate the loss of some land would be to conserve adjacent land and include it under the CR. This would be an uphill battle, most likely since your neighbors here. Anyway, so it looks like it's very difficult. Essentially, in summary, it's very difficult to modify a conservation restriction. That being said, this is really well above our pay grade. That's a state highway.
Right.
And there may be other solutions for dealing with that intersection. I agree, having been up and down that road a few times for that thing we did a couple of years ago. That it is a troublesome intersection. But anyway, next up under new business is the parking lot on Linden Street. Let me find. So screen share. All right. Do you guys see this?
Yeah.
Right. So this right here is town land. Okay. The dimensions are, roughly, 65 by 140 or 141. It appears to me that the gape and the break in the stone wall is about here. Okay. So, again, reviewing things, the Therians have been concerned that like once every 2 or 3 years, somebody drives along the field. I don't think it's a very frequent event. People had been parking here and then walking down this easement, which is a deeded easement. We had agreed to work with the Therians to get some posts put in place to demarcate this parking area. But no good deed goes unpunished. Apparently the Therians got their first and demarcated a park, an area like this. You see my arrow? It's
Mhm.
roughly a quarter of the entire parcel of town land.
Wow.
And they decided where they wanted the barriers. And that's where they put the barriers. I went down there today myself to take a look, and it's quite problematic. You could fit a car here. I was the only car in the parking lot at the time, and you could turn around if you're by yourself. But the problem is if there's a car here and a car here or two cars here, you can't really turn around very easily. You can't park them in, and you can only parallel park about two cars because even the entranceway is slanted, so my concerns are that number one, it's an inadequate parking space for people trying to access Pisgah. Number two, there's a lot more land available. This is all town property, and this entire area could function as a parking lot. Number three, if there is a worst case scenario and we lose access to the parking lot down the street to Pisgah, this lot will become more important. And number four, and I think perhaps one of the most important things, it is a traffic hazard. So again, this is the course of the fencing, right? Like this, you get a parallel parked car here, parallel parked car here, somebody pulls in because it's trees there. And they say, oh, I can't park here. They can't turn around either. They have to back into Linden Street. Linden Street's going down here, hill right here. And bam, there's an accident right there.
Right. Yeah, that's a bad curve right there.
Yeah, it's a traffic hazard because you
What
cannot.
about an emergency vehicle?
That would not be useful because that's less important simply because they could access yes, okay, the thing is at the end of this easement, they could only get to the field. They couldn't get to a serviceable
Right, but they
path.
couldn't even pull in off of Linden Street.
Not if there were
Yeah.
cars here. They would have a hard time. Yes. The cart path can potentially be accessed down the road, but we can't do anything about that right now because it's private property. At the end of the Saturday's town meeting, I talked to Dave Smith about this, and he was very grumpy. Every other interaction I've had with Dave has been wonderful, but not that one. And he basically said he wasn't going to change anything unless he got an order from the select board. So I'm going to stop sharing for a sec. So in summary, I think I need to go to the select board. So there will be three things. I'm going to make an appointment to talk in front of the select board, and with your approval, there'll be three things to talk about. One is this parking lot. The second thing would be to again advocate for a conservation agent. The one thing I will say about all the discussions we had about that former thing is that a lot of people actually did speak favorably of hiring a conservation agent.
Right.
So, and then the third thing, of course, would be to promote Holly and to tell her that's who we like. So I will contact the select board about those three things. Does that sound okay to everybody?
Yep. Yep. If you,
I would just add this, John. Those posts are ridiculous, frankly, and that we do own that land, and I think that that was not very neighborly for the owners to advise where to put those posts. But I don't want to see those ugly posts in there anymore. Just put up an agricultural type woven fence, steel post, maybe a wooden post on the corners, and put it up so that it looks agriculture. You pull in there without that eyesore of all those posts in there. Very simple and much cheaper than putting the posts in there. And then furthermore, if you went down towards a stone wall on the east end of it there, towards Westerlings, just leave it open, leave enough of a gap so that if an emergency vehicle had to get in there, they could. So they'd have to drive across the field. But if somebody's down there dying of a heart attack, nobody's going to say anything. So there would be emergency vehicle access down across that field. It supported farm equipment and haying equipment and everything else for years and years. So I don't see it ever happening. But if you're talking about emergency, I do that. So my recommendation is get the posts out of there, do whatever they want with them, and then put up a typical agricultural type woven wire fence along that area.
If the current design was on the edge of the town property, I wouldn't object to it. There'd be a lot more of it, but I think at a distance, it would do its job, and I don't really object to the look of the thing itself, actually. And actually, now that they've got the top tees, it looks okay, in my opinion. It's really just the layout that's the problem. I wouldn't object to a different type of fence either. I don't really feel strongly about that. I do recall that there was concern about some sorts of metal posts because of horses and tractors and stuff like that. I don't know.
Well, I heard that. I remember that. I've mowed a lot of fields against woven wire fences and cattle fences and worked draft horses in fields, as a matter of fact. But anyway, those posts just look silly. They look silly at a major state park. So I would just, I highly recommend the less intrusive looking typical agricultural application fence along there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have strong feelings. I personally don't mind. I don't think they're silly. I think they look fine. But the thing is, ideally the land would be surveyed. There's no trace of survey flags or survey posts that I could find. I saw no drill holes. I didn't look too closely because of course there's poison ivy there, but one option would be to survey the area and then, put up some sort of fencing. Again, I don't really mind the design of that as long as it's, along the edge of town property. Another possibility is just rip it up and revert to the way it was.
Right, exactly.
And just don't put up a fence. I mean, we agreed to put up a fence at town cost. And like I said, no good deed goes unpunished.
Put a couple of signs up there, one at the corner, one at the west end of it, and maybe a couple along the edge there, and that would do it. But if you want, we shouldn't have, the survey, and that runs into money. If you would allow me, I'd be glad to approach Sue and talk with her about it. And we get on there with a tape, and if she agrees where it is, then I'll come back and present to you what she agrees on. If she doesn't agree on it, then we have to survey it.
Well, that's fine, but the thing is, I need to go to the select board to have those posts removed. Either way.
Oh yeah, you got to get those removed anyway, but you have to have something put up also.
Or not. But I'm in favor of something put up, but it depends on what people are willing to do. My chief priority is to not have a traffic hazard. And in order for that to happen, those things got to go. So anyway.
You've got
Question. What did we have a representative of the Conservation Commission there and agree to this first thing?
No.
Somebody came by after the sightings were placed. Steve sort of did a quick look, but I don't think his heart was in it, frankly, at that point. And it's not in it now. He did, I emailed him. He doesn't, he said he was not involved in the original placement. He took a quick look, said,
Oh, so that's interesting because I did speak to Peg about this after you told me you spoke to Dave, and she said that Steve signed off on it. So Steve says he did not?
No, he nodded off on it. There was no signature.
Right.
But
we as a board did not agree.
We didn't have a chance to agree.
We didn't vote on it. We didn't agree. Right.
No, I mean, there was no supervision of the decision. And again, it's town property.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, it's not just us. Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Was somebody else going to say something?
No, that I just wasn't sure how that, if somebody was going to come forward and say, well, someone from your commission said that this was fine and that's why it's there and it has to stay.
Well, the thing is, and because of the traffic hazard, even if they did, it's dangerous. I mean, I could ask the police chief to take a look at it with me. It's dangerous.
Yeah,
all
it's hard
right.
pulling out forward.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. Next thing. Actually, I'm not sure there. Oh, did I cover everything? I guess I did. Both campsites are cleaned up. So that following Saturday, myself, Jim McCook, Paul Anderson, Keith, and Janice all got together and cleaned up that campsite. Put up a couple of more of those notices. As I may have mentioned to people, we were alarmed to find that there were rifle shell casings there, and Keith found some plywood that looked like it had been pierced by rifle rounds. That is really uncool. And I turned all that in as evidence to the police department. That was not, I mean, shotgun shells have a range, the bird shot will have a range of about what Walter, like 100 yards, maybe 150.
Most.
Yeah, but rifle rounds will go 1,000 yards. That's pretty uncool. All right.
Yeah, and somebody trying to go backwoods and camp is one thing, but somebody shooting weapons off is a whole nother thing.
Right. Well, the thing is, they're still not supposed to be camping there and burning stuff and starting
but
forest fires and leaving trash around. But because there was also, of course, trash and campfires and junk. Okay. So, does anybody have anything else?
I did, but then it left. And I don't know where, I don't remember what it is. It obviously wasn't super important.
Are you getting demented?
No, I've been demented.
Oh, okay.
I'm just getting dementia.
No, that's
I
the
know.
same. Yeah, it's the same thing. See, it is showing. It's showing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Could somebody make sure she doesn't wander at night?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to have a quick executive session. The purpose of the executive session is only to review and approve prior executive session minutes. That is it. We're not talking about anything else. So we will not come back to the public meeting. So entertain a motion.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I can't resist. I've got to make this comment. I hope one thing you learned at town meeting, that weakening the wetlands bylaw made no difference at all. We could have gone in there with a real credible, strong wetlands bylaw and had the same red. So trying to kowtow to 2 and 3 in particular, but those who, we put that in, John Smith will be against it. Oh, we put that in, Harry Louis will be against. Put in a good bylaw and campaign. I think Carolyn was the one that she probably worked harder than everybody else combined, put together several times over. And I'm going to tell you, my heart wasn't all that in it because it is so weak. But anyway, I hope next time around we put back together a bylaw that's credible of the town of Berlin and one of the better ones in the state. So I hope you keep that in mind.
I will. Thank you for sharing your opinion, Walter.
My pleasure.
All right. So anyway, so we will not be returning to the open meeting. We will have to say that. So entertain a motion to end this at 8:20 p.m.
So
Got
moved.
that?
Second.
With the understanding we'll be not returning to the open meeting. All right. And roll call vote, Carolyn,
Aye.
John, I, Louise,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
and Walter.
Yeah, so we just go to Robin's email and the key is on there to click on.
Yeah, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. Holly, you're invited as well. Lexi, you're not. You're off the
Sorry.
hook. Lexi, I'm gonna email you that thing to watch from Bolton right now, and then
Wait,
I'll
we
reach
need
out.
we need a motion to adjourn.
I'm
Oh,
getting there. I forgot. Thank you, Carol. In reality, I had forgot. I'm the one who's mentioned. Anyway, Lexi, so I'll email you a thing about Bolton, and I'll email MACC, and I'll email Patrick, and I'll email SVT. This won't all happen tonight. Only that one thing will happen tonight. And we'll see if we can get you set up stuff. Okay. Okay. We'll put you to work. You can start
thanks for
off
your
by pulling
interest.
barberry.
Welcome, Lexi.
Thank you guys.
Lexi, is your dad Stan?
Yeah,
I figured it's not exactly a common last name.
it is not.
Well, I
Excellent.
remember Lexi from 5th grade.
I am not in 5th grade anymore.
I know, my daughter, I think, was probably in kindergarten or first, but I remember you.
Wow, thank you.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, glad to see you carrying on the family legacy of service to the town.
Thank you.
Well, that's great.
All right.
All right, now I can entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting at, now it's 8:22.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All right. So Carolyn,
Aye.
John, I, Louise,
Bye.
Liz,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
and Walters.